Over.
And here we go. It's a squibbler. Bounding around. Picked up there by Della, playing on the 18. He's from the 25 to the 30. He trips up and he goes down on his 36-yard line. And tripping him up was Nettles, the cornerback. Let's take a look now at the Steelers offensively. Terry Bradshaw having his best year in his 9-year Pittsburgh career. Quarterback Rocky Blyer not scheduled to start. Said he felt all right. He's had a Charlie horse. He's in there with Franco Harris. And the receivers will be Stallworth and Swann, the wide boys, and Grossman, the tight end. First down, Steelers under 36. Rocky Blyer. Blyer jams it out to the 40. He runs into Ed Simonini, the lightest middle linebacker in pro football at 215. He leads the Colts in tackles. And how about that offensive line? It's done quite a job, John.
Kurt, the one guy that I think epitomizes the abilities of the offensive line for Pittsburgh, which I think is the most diverse in football, Sam Davis. He can pull both ways well. He's got good strength, good pass protector. He's a guy that's been there for a long time. They coordinate very well.
This is the second down and 6 play for the Steelers. The Colts just changed up something here. We'll talk about that in a minute. Bradshaw all the time. Flips it out. He completes it to Lynn Swann. Short gain. Swann is down. He didn't catch a pass last week. Norm Thompson drove him out of bounds. And Swann has a chance to challenge Roy Jefferson for the all-time Steeler pass reception record.
Kurt, I think this was a perfect exposure of how people sit and say when the conditions are like this, it makes your passing game more difficult. Not so. If a team has a good pass rush, they're really stalemated. They can't get good footing. They can't get to the quarterback. You saw Bradshaw sitting around with about 6 seconds to throw. Now it's 3rd down and 6.
Bradshaw, deep drop. Swann has it. First down and more. Lyle Blackwood rides him down in Colt territory. They're on the Colt 35-yard line.
And again, Kurt, we see Bradshaw going back there, trying to throw the ball early. They may not be able to throw it well late. He had enough time to allow Swann to get about 25 yards down the field before he made his break. Look at that pass protection. He's got a ton of it. He throws the ball just as Swann makes the break. People will be falling down all day long. Liable to be a lot of big gainers.
That's one area where the Colts admittedly say they must improve next year. Their deep 7 backs, their linebackers, deep secondary and defense. Bradshaw again. There it goes to Franco Harris. Over his head. Harris running down the near sideline. Well covered by the left cornerback, Norm Thompson. So it's brought back to the 45-yard line of the Colts. It's first down, 20 to go for the Steelers. No score early in the first period. Rocky Blyer trying to follow Harris on the cutback. He's over the 40s to the 38-yard line of the Colts and brought down by the right linebacker, Stan White. Let's set up the defense for him, John.
Well, they have been known as the sack pack. However, they haven't been quite as effective this year as they have been in the past. Mike Barnes is down. John Dutton is having a good year. Dave Rose filled in at tackle for him. Joe Ehrman and Fred Cook are outstanding people. They need somebody in the defensive backfield, however.
They just made a change at linebackers, we'll give you after the next play. Second down, 13 to go. The Steelers ball on the Colt 38. Bradshaw out to the tight end, Grossman. Grossman is wrestled down on the Colt 33-yard line by Ed Simonini, the middle linebacker who trailed the play over. Randy Grossman. Here are the linebackers. Derrel Luce, number 58, is now playing left linebacker in place of McLeod. That's Simonini, the little guy in the middle, and Stan White is the right linebacker, number 53. Now they're putting in the 5th secondary back. They take Simonini out and put in Dwight Harrison, number 28. So along with those 4 you see, add Harrison on a 3rd down and prevent play. 3rd down and 11. Boy, he's getting the time. That one was right in there to Grossman. He needled it in between 2 defenders, Randy Grossman, who has a sure pair of hands. We might see Benny Cunningham today, the tight end who's been injured the last 8 weeks. They want to test him.
I'm not sure they'll get a chance to see too much of Benny Cunningham just because of the conditions. I would expect they'd let his knee get a little bit better. I know they feel that they need him for their offense to be as effective as it can be. But Grossman is very effective, particularly in the throwing part of the game. That time Sanders Shiver just made an excellent defensive play. forced him to punt.
Craig Colquitt, the rookie from Tennessee, best net average in the American Conference. He just pooches it down there to the 11-yard line where Lyle Blackwood, the strong safety, took it. And now we'll see the Colts go on the attack for the first time. And before we do, let's take this timeout.
Okay, you see the offensive setup for the Baltimore Colts. Don Hardman's the new man. Joe Washington having a fine year. Don Hardman's the guy that came out of college with Walter Payton. Was expected to be every bit as good. Hasn't shown so. They're giving him a good shot today.
Troup on the handoff to Hardman of Texas A&I, his fourth year. Straight ahead he goes where he runs into Steve Furness, the right tackle, Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker. The Colts have the ball on their 15 at second down 6. There are the wide receivers. Roger Carr came back this year after knee surgery. Glenn Dowdy on the other side. And finally getting their #1 draft pick, the rookie tight end Reese McCall, in here for a start today from Auburn, tallest player in the history of Auburn college football. Joe Washington trying to squirm for that first down, and there's Lambert again on him. Also helped by Donnie Shaw, the torpedo. And the Colts offensive line, it's been shaken up this year.
You bet. The one steady subject is Ken Mendenhall. He and Ken Huff and Robert Pratt have been there for quite a while. They've played very well. I mentioned Coons went out. Collette quit last year. That's one area where they have to get a little bit better.
Don McCauley, third down is in there. He's a good pass receiver. It's 3rd and 4 for the Colts from their 17. No score early in the first period. Bill Troup for his first pass. Joe Washington would have had to make a Joe DiMaggio grab of that one. The ball was fired hard and high to him, but he was open out on that right flank.
Hard, high, and quick, Kurt, but had he pulled that ball down, it looks like a simple little 6-yard play that would have turned into possibly an 85-yard pass play. As Troup throws this ball, he gets rid of it pretty well. It sails a little on him. Joe Washington has his linebacker beaten. There is nobody in the area down the field. He may have turned that one into a real biggie.
David Lee has a groin pull. He didn't know whether he'd be punting today, but he is, averaging 38.5 yards a kick. Jim Smith is a safety man, and the kick is away, bounding around on the 50 in the Steeler territory. It is dead on the Steeler 45-yard line, where Pittsburgh will take over. Healthy, another 5 years. There it is to Franco. That's what he does best. As John Brody said, he doesn't just pound over people, but he's a great cutback artist, finding those small gaps.
I think you'll see him utilized extensively today because he's the type of fellow that lets people overrun him. This time he's supposed to go to the outside. However, everybody gets a piece of somebody, lets him pick his own hole, and he finds them as well as anybody.
There's the all-time rushing list. Oh, that's Jim Brown will be hard to take. O.J. Simpson's out for the year, getting older now with a knee problem. Franco Harris is now in 4th place. Franco again, just short of the first down. 7th year in Penn State. Dave Rowe in the middle. Joe Ehrman, the right tackle, stopping. Steelers are coming up now with 3rd and short.
And did you happen to see the 5th member of that little group of those great all-time rushers? Joe Perry. He did it when they played 12 games a year. He played for 15 years. I had the pleasure to play with him for 4 or 5, and he was a man that was ready every week.
You play with McElhaney?
Yep, 3 or 4 years.
The king, they called him, didn't he?
And he was.
3rd down, a yard to go. Larry Brown has been inserted at right tackle. Franco Harris has the first down as he drives off his left tackle. Stan White and Ed Simononi, the 2 linebackers, stop him. But the Steelers, first down, Chuck Noll. This is his 10th year. His first year, 1 win, 13 losses. How he turned it around. Solid drafting. Same way New England's done it. Same way the Cowboys did it. Just pick your own and rear them on the farm
and he's had no intervention. He probably has the best administrative front office in football.
Play action pass. Swann is broken up very nicely there by Norm Thompson. Flag is down. Flag is down. We may have interference call, and Thompson's going to be unhappy. He's arguing. It'll be an automatic first down for the Steelers. Steelers are on the Colt 34. Flyer is down to the 30. What they're doing with that Zamboni, and you can see the 25-20. They're trying to run it across the field between plays and give us the yard stripes, which have been obliterated.
Okay, Ed Simonini. Small, very active. Kind of the type of a Leroy Jordan. He'll move to a spot very quickly. That time he didn't get there quite as quickly as he would have liked. Still held it to a 2-yard gain.
They have a big bowling show coming up on NBC that we'll tell you about. Bradshaw, play action pass after the fake. There's a deep pass. It is in the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown to Stallworth. John Stallworth. That's his 8th touchdown pass of the season.
Bradshaw threw that ball within 1 yard of being exactly perfect. He had no place to throw the ball. As he went back there, Doug Nettles had the play covered all the way. Stallworth just outran the angle and kind of slipped in out of the top. Looked like it came out of the top of the stadium. They've got a touchdown early, and that's a big one.
Great pair of wide receivers on this team.
Well, almost every team has one. You can go right down the roster. You can't be a contender without them. But look where this ball's thrown. Stallworth stays on the dead run. Nettles never got the play, and he really was in a position to cover it well.
All right, Roy Girilla for the point. He's missed one this year. Holding his Colquitt, and the kick is up. Kick is good. Gilla's kicking off against a strong breeze. The Colt receivers, Washington and McCauley, are at their 15-yard line. Bounding around, goes by them. It'll have to be, it's in the end zone, and Washington will down it for the touchback. So it'll be first down Baltimore on their own 20-yard line. Right after this game is over, we'll have the Sperry NFL report, and then we're going to have a prestigious national bowling tournament, the best one of the year, a $100,000 purse, $11,000 bonus to anyone who bowls a 300 game on television, and a $7,000 bonus to anyone who bowls a 299 game. And the top men and women in bowling will be there later today on NBC. First down Baltimore on their 20. Gary Dunn has moved in at right tackle, replacing Steve Burnett. The handoff, slithering through, is Don Hardiman. Hardiman, 235, 6'2". And we have a flag down.
Several of them. Both of them thrown pretty late.
That last drive by the Steelers, 5 plays, 55 yards. They've had the ball about 90% of the time in this first period. That's holding against the Colts. That they don't need.
I think they're just trying to stay warm. And that, in my opinion, is what they need.
A couple of flags dropped. Still first down on an offsetting penalty, evidently. Joe Washington trying to cut back. He's down on his 23-yard line out of the University of Oklahoma. What a line of runners they have. Well, here's the old steel curtain. It's changed up a little bit. You still have the people on the left side of that defensive line. L.C. Greenwood's at left end. He's a fixture there. Joe Greene playing well. Steve Furness is out right now, and Gary Dunn is in at right tackle. They're alternating those two. And Banasak is in at right end, and they alternate him now with Dwight White. They play 6 men. Much the way the Denver Broncos do, alternating defensive men. Trying to rest them, keep fresh people coming on. Hardiman again. Hardiman is to his 25-yard line. It'll be third down and 5. The linebackers for the Steelers, outstanding. Ham, is there any better one? Smarter, opportunist. Jack Lambert in the middle. Robin Cole, Lauren Tays would be starting there, but right now he has a bad ankle.
They're always going to have great linebackers because of their down line, and they also have outstanding defensive secondary play. Tony Dungy's a fellow that's only played in spots, picked off 4 balls. He's been playing center field for him generally. Now he gets a chance as a free safety.
And the Steeler fans yelling defense. It's third down and 5 for the Colts. Troup short pass complete to Washington, and
he's got it.
He has it somehow. They had him pinned and then let him make the twirl again, and he picks up the first down. Joe Washington. We're talking about those Oklahoma running backs. Starting back with Heisman Trophy winner Billy Vessel. Watch this.
Okay, we're going to get a chance to see why Joe Washington is as able as he is. Here's Jack Lambert in pretty good position to keep that thing short of a first down. However, this doesn't go on a 1,000-yard gaining season, but it picks you up a first down, and it kind of shows you the importance an all-purpose back like Joe can contribute.
And then they had Greg Pruitt and Joe Washington and now Billy Sims. They just have a run of them there. Sooner State, Hardiman and Washington, the running back, first down, Colts. slipping and falling down is Joe Washington on his 23. Washington's picked up a lot of yardage this year. He's the third leading running back in the conference in catching passes, and he's gained 838 yards on the ground. And he didn't have the full training camp, of course, with the Colts. He's accounted actually for 1,206 yards in offense. Lydell Mitchell's accounted for 1,202 yards for the Chargers, about dead even.
It's a good league.
Second down, 7. 7-0 Steelers. A little over 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Still Troup. He may run up. Now he unloads it. Washington can't hold on to it. And how he was hit there. Ron Johnson, the only rookie to start on defense here since Jack Lambert left. That's a defensive holding. Technical problems with that mic and the snow and ice down there. It's first down, an automatic first down. Colts are on their 39-yard line. They started on their 20. They're behind 7-0. They're in the I formation. First man through, Don Hardiman had a quick opener. And Tony Dungy, the free safety, had to come up to nail him. And he drops him on the 45-yard line of the Colts, 46.
It's funny. You can tell when guys know they're playing for their own survival professionally. Don Hardman's a guy, as we mentioned earlier, came out of Texas A&I, was expected to be great quick. The action's getting a little heavier. He knows it's a big day for him. Every time he gets the ball, you'll see all he has.
Second down, 3. Flags drop. Don Hardiman pounding the right side. Closer, perhaps, making the first down. But flags dropped as the play unfolded. We're getting a lot of penalties here in the first period. This is offside. Steelers. Up front, Greenwood, Greene, Dunn, and Dwight White now in their defensive right end. For the Steelers in their front 4. They're down. The linebackers are standing up. Fake. Troup, good protection. Wide open, but he threw it out of bounds. Trying to hit his receiver there. That was Roger Carr. Roger Carr has caught 29 balls this year for an average of 21.5 yards. He is a big average man per reception in his career.
He runs sideline patterns very well, also deep posts and anything down the field. He's got such great speed. Today, his sideline is pretty well nullified. You can't make the proper break at the proper time to get your coordination good with the quarterback. He was in a good position to get it. Ball was just thrown a little too far outside.
Bill Troup figures this is second down. 10 to go. And the tailback in the eye, Washington is hit. Then he squirmed forward a couple of yards to the 47-yard line. It is third down and 8. Troy Oldham. Oldham comes in. He's with the Colts. He's the nickel back right now. McCauley's in the lineup. They'll throw for it. He has the time. And it's just broken up there by Jack Ham. He had him open. McCauley on a crossing pattern, and Ham flicked it off his fingertips.
Well, Jack Ham actually covered one of the toughest things for a linebacker to cover. He was isolated. They were blitzing. He was the man that was covering McCauley all the way. They sent the middle backer, so it gave him a free run right through the middle. Troup made a pretty good throw. Ham just made a perfect flat down.
Good play, Jack. Punt formation, David Lee. Double safety, Theo Bell is 83. Jim Smith is 86. Jim Smith's been a hard luck player with this club. They're going back to block. He hoists the punt up. They let it hit. It is going to be out of bounds on the 13-yard line. And the country is your Christmas. Dean Martin celebrates the holidays. I know you'll enjoy it. Uh-oh, Blyer nearly moved. He's reset. Or Thornton's in there for Blyer now. And that play didn't go. Fred Cook jammed it up, the defensive left end. I think one of the puzzling things about the Colts this year, we expect them to have troubles with Bert Jones out on offense. But what happened to the sack pack getting to the quarterback?
Well, a lot of times, Kurt, when you're a little bit thin, your quarterback goes down, your offense doesn't have the ball as often in key situations, doesn't allow your defense to rest properly. The burden's straight on them, and if you get a few key people hurt like they have during the year, Stan White's been hurt on and off. He's playing, but he's not at his top peak. It just affects the whole group.
On second down and 10, Bradshaw unloads it to Swann. Swann has it. Swann wriggles away. He can go. He's at the 50. He's at the 40, and they get him from behind and save a touchdown. Doug Nettles saved the touchdown on Lynn Swann.
No wonder Terry Bradshaw thinks it's a big edge for them to win today. If he can throw in these conditions, he can throw in an outhouse. The man has, I mean, he's put the ball where it has to be thrown 4 or 5 times today when I see he has no play.
62 yards. Steelers ahead 7-0. Late in the first period, we're in the last minute of play. That's Thornton. Thornton is taken by Blackwood, and then hitting him again is Mike Odowski, first-year player from Virginia. Well, they don't do much with that one. By the way, Lynn Swann has 3 catches in this game, 60 on the season, and the all-time Steeler record is 67, set by Roy Jefferson.
And he may not break it, but I'll tell you what, he's certainly breaking it on distance per catch reception. He's about as explosive an offensive weapon as there is in this league. When you have a Bradshaw throwing to you, your stats are going to look good.
If they get it off, this will be the last play of the first period. We're down to 7 seconds. Second down and 11. Here's a fake by Bradshaw.
I think he's got the time.
Look at him knock him down for him. He flipped it wide open. Thornton has the ball. Derrel Luce there with him. Sidney Thornton, number 38.
Kurt, they have never devised a defense that can keep those secondary people on the intended receivers for 10 or 11 seconds. I mean, this is just great offensive line play. I've mentioned I like Pittsburgh's offensive line. They have never had a guy chosen for the Pro Bowl, and yet Bradshaw, I think, can sit and look at those 5 guys. They used to have Jim Clack, but they still got Coleman, Davis, and Webster, Penny. These guys are real fine players. They get not enough credit. They may be the reason Pittsburgh's as good as it is.
For the bowler. First and goal to go. Steelers on the Baltimore 3-yard line. In motion is Blyer. Blyer then peeled off Rocky. There goes Franco in. Franco Harris scores. And the Steelers have a 13-0 lead. They score on the first play of the second period. Derrel hopes to reach it. Colquitt spots it, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. Pittsburgh Steelers looking in Super Bowl form in the snow and ice here. We'll go back and kick it off. And we'll be back with the Pittsburgh kickoff right after this message. 87-yard drive. Jarilla's kickoff is tumbling to Don McCauley. McCauley in trouble. Gets away to the 20 and skates his way out of bounds. Driven out there by Steve Corson. So it'll be the Colts ball first in. What a day Bradshaw's had so far. We said at the outset, his best year. He's a strong candidate for most valuable of the year player. He has hit 6 out of 7 already in this game. Lynn Swann has caught 3 for 87 yards already.
Well, I think in the AFC, he and Zorn are just having outstanding years, and they picked up the slack whenever their teams needed it. And you can't say enough about Terry.
Colts ball on their 24 with a first down. That's the Joe Washington with an odd handoff. That was a half handoff. It took too long in getting started. And Jack Ham, you don't mess around with Jack on any kind of delays.
It was a foul-up is what it was, Kurt. Either Joe Washington was to come closer to Troup on this little handoff, or else Troup was supposed to get the ball farther outside. But I think Joe realized if he went inside, he'd never get outside. The conditions won't allow it. I'm not sure the play was too good.
They lost 4 at second down, 14. Pittsburgh ahead if you just joined us, 14-0 early in the second period. That's Joe Washington, and he's hit by number 56, Robin Cole, who came shooting across from his right linebacker position. And the Colts continue to go nowhere. Some interesting games tomorrow on NBC. They'll all start with NFL 78 at 12:30. The Jets in Cleveland. Very interesting affair. Jets still hopeful of a wild card spot. Buffalo is at New England. If New England wins that game, they'll clinch their division. Oakland at Miami. NFL 78 at 3:30, then Oakland and Miami at 4 o'clock. If Oakland loses, they'll be out of the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. Third down, 14. Troups pass. Dropped by the tight end, Reese McCall, number 86, the rookie, the number 1 draft pick of the Colts. And so the Colts now are presented with a 4th down and 14.
You mentioned Reese McCall, a first draft choice. Bill Troup back to pass. Got just enough time to throw it. He gets McCall in the seam. Perfectly called play. You don't have to tell a receiver when he drops the ball that he made a mistake. You can tell by that reaction.
Theo Bell and Jim Smith are the safety men. Here's the punt by David Lee. A low one. Taken by Theo Bell. Oh, is he hammered down? And he's hit there by number 71, Mike Ozdowski, a first-year player who may be an outside linebacker next year. Blyer, Franco Harris are the running back behind Terry Bradshaw. The Steelers ball on their own 40. Blyer off left guard, and he has a 2-yard advance. Mike Ozdowski from Virginia, Joe Ehrman, the right tackle, on the stop for the Colts. Second down, Steelers on their 42, 2nd and 8. Early in the second period. Steelers voted against the 16-game schedule. So what did they do? They accommodate themselves. They won 12, lost 2 over the first 14 games, the old schedule. Now they're trying to win their 13th game in the 15th game of the season. They were against the extended schedule. This worked out all right for them. Quick flip to the sideline. It is a completion. Theo Bell's now in there. Bell skips out of bounds. He's about 2 yards short of a first down. Theo Bell, second-year player from Arizona.
Kurt, it shows you another reason why Pittsburgh is quite as good as it is. Their depth is outstanding. Theo Bell doesn't get a chance to play very much, but by getting his feet in, controlling the ball before he goes out of bounds here, you can see he's a second-line receiver with first-line ability.
They have put Steve Corson at right tackle. Swann is out. He had damaged side against Houston. Everybody was damaged last week in that game. That's Rocky Blyer snow plowing his way for a first down. I read John Bum Phillips said, I've been in football 31 years, Tex, and that's the toughest game I've ever seen. The toughest, most physical defensive game, last week's Pittsburgh-Houston game.
And I think whenever they talk about physical games, they talk about teams like Houston and Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's now on the Baltimore 48-yard line of the first down. The Steelers ahead. White being attended to. Steelers ahead 14-0 early in the second period. Rocky Blyer. Blyer a couple and that's all. Mike Ozdowski again. David Rowe, the veteran who has shaved his beard off. I didn't recognize him today in the Colt locker room.
When you draft somebody too and he's better than you thought, you got a good one.
Right, second down 8. Bradshaw out to Franco Harris. Look out, Franco. Coming up on him was Doug Nettles. Pass sailed over Franco's head, and it'll be third down 8 for the Steelers. No flags dropped. Bradshaw right over the middle to Blyer. He has the first down. He's at the 30, 25, 20. Still going inside to 15. Blyer, Dwight Harrison, and Lloyd Mumford had to pin him down. It'll be first down Steelers deep in Baltimore territory.
We talked about calling patterns where your man doesn't have to change direction and gets going against the flow of the defense. Grossman is running right down the left side. Blyer comes underneath him. He catches both Stan White and Lyle Blackwood having to change their direction. He runs at 30 yards or so before he even makes contact.
Ted Marcia Broda, then that kind of year. Jim Smith and Theo Bell, the second line wide receivers are in. First down Pittsburgh on the Colts 14. Bradshaw looks to the far corner. It's picked off. Intercepted. Coming up with the ball. Norm Thompson still going, and he's belted out of bounds. And also a flag is dropped along the way. Thompson intercepted on the 3-yard line.
That's keeping excellent control. Norman Thompson just stayed right at the break point. As Bradshaw went to throw the ball, he'd already committed to throw it. Had he been able to see Thompson just standing right there, threw it right to him. I'm not sure his uniform didn't blend in with the snow a little bit. But when he caught it, he just made sure he had good control of it, returned it for about 35 yards, and they've got a good chance to get on the board.
Well, we'll more about it. On the first down, Troup is hit, gets rid of the ball, and it's incomplete. Joe Greene got to him, and White. Joe Greene, 75. Joe in his 10th year and having a good year. Solid year.
I feel very much for Bill Troup. He has a problem picking out his people because all of these uniforms really blend in with that snow out there. He had Don Hardiman on a little layoff pattern. How he found him at all was quite a trick. Joe Greene just about got him down before he could see him.
Lynn Swann is going into the Steeler locker room. He may not be back. He may have incurred an injury. Don Hardiman gained 90 yards last week. He's trying to play, as John said, put on an impressive ending and play himself into a first-team spot next year. Tremendous spectacular out there. Whoops. Ball squirted away. The Steelers have the ball. L.C. Greenwood down around the goal line. They knocked it out of Bill Troup's grasp. Everybody diving forward on the slippery turf. And it appeared the Steelers had it.
Well, I think they did, only because they outnumbered the Colts about 8-1 down there in that pile.
They do. They've got it.
All right, these are the conditions. These sort of things happen. He goes back to throw, gets a good pass rush. Didn't even realize he lost the ball for a second there. Almost every man in the whole defensive line and linebacker crew for the Steelers touched a piece of that ball, and finally L.C. Greenwood came up with it.
He got it. He's being congratulated. It's on the 2-yard line of the Colts. Pittsburgh first and goal to go.
Look at
That's
that.
the first turnover against Baltimore. 14-0 Steelers. 9 minutes to play in the first half. Here they go. And they score. Franco Harris, his second touchdown. 7 touchdowns rushing this season for him. It's good. And the Steelers, in the snow and ice, are red hot. Timeout with a score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 21, the Baltimore Colts nothing. Early in the year now they've gone back to the run some. But it's a balanced team. It's the Joe Washington on the 5. He's up to the 20, 25, he's up to the 30, and he goes down on the Colt 33-yard line. And the tackle made by Tony Dungy. The Orange Bowl will follow the Rose Bowl in NBC. Oklahoma lost 1 game to Nebraska, and Nebraska 9-2 will be in there against the Sooners. An interesting rematch in the Orange Bowl. We have one of our ground cameras, as you would expect, some electronic problems today with the snow and the ice. It's breaking up on us, and we're trying to correct it for you. All right, that's Joe Washington. He's not getting much running room against the steel curtain. He goes down on the 38-yard line of Baltimore, hit there by Joe Greene. Joe, you know, the last 3 years, John, has had a pinched nerve in his neck. He's had a bad back. And this year he's fairly free of injuries. And even though this is his 10th year, we said a solid year, probably a Pro Bowl year for him.
Well, the big part of Joe Greene is that he's such a big man. Even when he's not playing as well individually, we'll get to it a little later.
Oh, there was a rack up behind the line of scrimmage by Jack Ham. Joe Washington was hit behind the line of scrimmage by Ham. That's what really slowed him down.
And Joe Washington's picked up 4 yards and 2 carries. Now it's 3rd and 5. A tough situation for Baltimore. I was alluding to Joe Greene, and that the bigness of the man, I think, is the most important part of his addition to this team. They've got some real big people when you take a look around their group, and I think that's what's responsible for the young guys coming on fast and them doing as well as they're doing.
Dirt's in there in the snow. Dirt Winston as a 4th linebacker. Dennis Winston, number 53. Don McCauley's in the backfield for the Colts. Sideline pass, and skipping out of bounds is Roger Carr, but he skipped out before the first down marker, so they're still short of a first down.
Bert, that's just getting careless. They have to get a first down on the play. They've got 5 yards to go. We know there's a flag down on the field, but Carr doesn't know that. No matter what, you're dead if you only gain 3 when you need 5 on 3rd and 5.
McCauley, and he wriggles for the first down over his 45 to his 47-yard line. John Banasak and Jack Lambert make the stop.
One guy you can count on, and the Colts have counted on him in short yardage situations for the last 7 or 8 years, is Don McCauley. He comes to play. He plays his best every week. If they get a little better, he'll be an integral part of their group again.
The score is 21-0 Pittsburgh. 6:56 to play in the first half. Joe Washington rammed into by Robin Cole, the right linebacker. We want to send our deepest sympathy to our cohort, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, a man that I covered for so many years with the Kansas City Chiefs, Lynn Dawson, who lost his dear wife, Jackie, just 42 years old. And to the entire family of Lenny Dawson, and to Lenny himself, John and I, and the NBC Sports Department, so sad about it, and our deepest sympathy to Len Dawson and his family. That down the field with Roger Carr, you know, reminds me of a story about Lenny Dawson's wife. Here's Bill Troup fading. McCauley on the flare pass. Oh, that's a Jack Lambert hit. A typical Jack Lambert tackle.
All right, you talk about bigness. It's funny. They're up 21-0, and this man is making contact like that in the open field. I had the feeling that if this game got close, Lambert may kick a few fannies out there and really get people humming just to keep their momentum. But McCauley is the total effect of this play.
Look at that. I don't know. There's a lot of good middle linebackers. We've seen Bradshaw several times this year.
He's one of them.
He's one of them. That man's one. Here's the punt by David Lee. Smith and Bell are back. Bounding around. Bell will pick it up on his 15 to the 20, to the 25, and his forward motion stopped at the 26-yard line. Chuck Noll will play his regulars most of the way. He wants to keep them sharp. That's Franco Harris dropped for short yardage. Lynn Swann is out. He's been taken to the locker room with an injury, and we're going to try and get a report on him. Stan White, the last tackle. There is a frustrated man, Bert Young. He's also worried. He's played only 3 games this year. He has a separation in the top of his shoulder. He doesn't believe it's healing right. He came back too soon, was re-injured, and he is concerned. He is concerned about that shoulder.
Well, you know how good Bert is when he's well. As a matter of fact, when his shoulder was bothering him and he was still throwing effectively, it took a little something off the ball, but I tell you, those receivers were running into it with regularity. I didn't think he should come back when he did. I don't think he should have now. And it's going to take him a while to get his throwing motion back, because you change a lot of things when your shoulder's bad and you have to adjust your motion. I just hope he comes back next year in strong form.
That's John Cole, the left tackle, out. Replaced by Larry Brown. Ray Penny moves over to left tackle. Brown's at right tackle. 2nd down 8. We have a report on Swann and Stallworth, both out, and we'll tell you about them in just a minute after this play. Bradshaw hands off to Harris, then they jam him up. Stan White hitting there. Lynn Swann has a head injury. That's why he was taken to the locker room. This is a Colt player going off. And John Stallworth has an upset stomach. So the 2 top receivers of the Steelers are out. And by the way, they have paired up for over 90 catches this year, tops of any pair of any team in the American Football Conference.
I think if there was ever a day when it would be all right if they spend a little time in the dressing room, today seems to be the day.
The Colt player going to the locker room is the rookie Reese McCall, the tight end. 3rd down. 5 to go for the Steelers. Smith and Theo Bell, the wide receivers, as they spread out. Bradshaw looks over his field, and he is hit from behind. He fumbles the ball, but the whistle already blown dead. Mike Ozdowski, the first-year player from Virginia, has been the best defensive player on the field for the Colts this afternoon.
Well, he's been the one in the most action, Kurt, and a lot of times that happens because if you see a new fella come in, you don't pick on John Dutton. You'd rather pick on the new boy. He's held his own. He's done a good job. You can tell by that stat, 30 sacks so far in 14 games is not what is really indicative of Baltimore's front 4. This time, because of good secondary coverage, Bradshaw couldn't go anywhere. The defensive line caught him, forced the Steelers to punt.
Craig Colquitt punts it away. Joe Washington will catch it on his 42. 45. Trying to shake and go. 50. Still going. And dropped on the 41. I remember one time asking Chuck Fairbanks. He recruited Joe Washington when he was at Oklahoma. 21-0 Pittsburgh. Troup to throw it. Comes out of the pocket. Short one off. And he hits his fullback, Don Hardman. Hardman's down on the 35-yard line of Pittsburgh. Tackled by Ron Johnson, the rookie, and Gary Dunn.
If Baltimore's going to do anything in this ball game, this is their golden opportunity. 21 down with about 4 minutes left. Actually, 3.5 left in the half. If they can score, it puts them back to only 14 down. We've seen what they can do on national television late in a ball game with under bad conditions as they did in New England. However, they have got to get something going. This is a pretty good play by Troup. Hardman makes a good reaction. They get about 7.
Mac Alston in at tight end, replacing McCall. There goes Joe Washington. Look at him change direction. He's away. Oh, they just nip him. Robin Cole just nipped him around the ankles to save a touchdown. But we're talking about that lateral change of direction. All great runners have it, and you just saw Washington with it.
Well, most of them have it when the field is dry. I haven't seen anybody be able to make this kind of a move today on this sort of slick surface. He even outruns the cameraman. He's out ahead of our picture. We finally catch him. So does Robin Cole, but they're in great scoring position.
Watch it again here now. There's one change on that slippery field. Here's another cut. See? Boy, he cuts on the dime.
You don't fool Donnie Shell too often either.
First down on the 10-yard line. Hardman ramming the middle. And he has stopped cold there. Number 78, White. They're on about the 7 or 8 yard line. Mike Kirkland is warming up, number 15, youngster from Arkansas. You'll see Arkansas in the Fiesta Bowl against UCLA. The 2-minute warning has been given to each bench, so we'll take a bit of a warning here up in the booth with the score. Pittsburgh 21 and Baltimore nothing. Steeler fans showing no mercy, yelling defense. They don't want their team to be scored on. The 21-0 lead, all the time in the world for Troup, and he's passed a touchdown to Roger Carr, and the Colts are on the scoreboard. Baltimore scores with 1:54 to go in the first half.
And Troup had all day just to wait around, find somebody getting open. Good defensive coverage. However, he didn't get any surge to force him to throw the ball any earlier than he did. Took about 6-7 seconds to throw it. We mentioned earlier, if Baltimore's going to get back in this game, they have to score before the half. They were up to the task on a great Joe Washington run. This finale from Troup to Carr.
6 touchdown receptions for Roger Carr this season. 2 in 1 game from Bert Jones. They were quite a battery, a long-distance battery when they're together. Here's a kick by Linhart. It's up, and the kick is good. So it's a 21-7 game in favor of Pittsburgh with 1:54 seconds remaining in the first half.
And they better be ready.
Johnson finds a hole, or Anderson. Anderson finds a hole. Tim Baylor went down to make the tackle. Larry Anderson, he's been their kickoff return specialist. They've been using several. We have 1:47 to play in the first half. Coming up next is NFL 78 at halftime. Special features for you. Give Brody and I a chance to get warm.
Mike Adamle isn't going to get too warm. He's been down on that field since the game started.
Franco Harris, Thornton to the running back. Bradshaw, his pass, incomplete to Jim Smith. Jim Smith, an interesting player. We saw him in the Rose Bowl for the University of Michigan, an outstanding athlete at Michigan. Ever since he's been with this club, John, though he's been injured. He's had a broken ankle last year. He's had all kinds of physical problems.
But the good thing for a guy like Jim Smith is they know he's got fine ability. They have fine people playing in front of him right now. It gives him a chance to develop. You can see they all come out of the same mold. They do things that allow them to win. They get down the field well, run good patterns. And a guy like Bradshaw, he's got a good chance to be a good one.
It is second down, 10 to go for the Steelers. They're leading 21-7.
Unreal.
Look at that move by Franco. He's still moving along. Number 42, Lloyd Mumford slowed him down. Then Lyle Blackwood did it, but you saw the moves by Franco Harris at 227 pounds.
Okay, we mentioned the type of fullback he is. I didn't think he'd be able to do this sort of a thing on a day like today. He's moving and moving against Simonini, who is, if anything, really quick. Gives himself a chance to let his offensive guard pick Simonini off, cuts back behind him, and picks up about 9.
Just a little over a minute to play in the first half. Pittsburgh ahead by 14. They have a 3rd down and a yard to go. They send in motion Thornton, a block for Franco Harris, and Harris hit down for a loss by Tom McLeod, number 52, the left linebacker. Fine play by McLeod out of Minnesota. Jack Lambert, our 3-step kickers. Let's watch him. 1, 2, bang. Away it goes. He's done a good job as a rookie. He gets the ball away quicker. He hasn't had one blocked this year out of Tennessee. Look, let's watch his reaction as it goes out. Out of bounds. They've had only 2 go into the end zone for touchbacks. He has the best net average in the conference, 35.1. That means take the punt, minus the return, and you come out with a net return, and that's what really counts. First down for the Colts. They're on their 18-yard line. They've just scored a touchdown. They're trailing 21-7, and they're trying to come back against the powerhouse Steelers. Troup gives the ball to Washington. Washington is pulled down behind the line of scrimmage on a quick charge by Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker. Look at him. He follows Washington back and says something to him. Yeah.
Stopped him for a yard.
Don't mess with the best because you get hurt like the rest. Lambert is fired up. I don't care what game he's playing in it, out of it, or whatever it is. He wants to torment people. We have 6 seconds to go in the half. 173 yards for Pittsburgh. They're just 5 for Baltimore. Total yardage way in favor of the Steelers. Turnovers 1 and 1. Very few for such conditions. And there's the man, Bradshaw.
I know he thought he might get out of this baby in the second half. However, Baltimore comes on with a late rush, puts a score on the board. They're within 14 points. And, you know, we sit up here and wonder what ball players are thinking. But having been in this situation on a few occasions.
McCauley and Joe Washington are back for Baltimore as we start the second half. A driving snow now here. It's aimed toward McCauley. McCauley on the 10. He's up to the 20. 25 to the 30. And he is rammed on the 32. He's hit there by Dennis Dirt Winston, a hard-hitting young back. And now, what was that?
I think it's a little action. Robin
Cole's mad about something, number 56.
Maybe he's just trying to get warm.
It's on the 32-yard line of Baltimore, first down. 21-7 Pittsburgh as we open the second half. Joe Washington. Jack Lambert bulldogged him down. And it's just short of the 40-yard line. Gain of 8 for Joe Washington.
Okay, Steve Furness and John Banaszak on the right side. L.C. Greenwood and Joe Greene on the left.
There's the secondary. The change one over a couple of years ago with the Steelers. Second down, 2 to go. 39-yard line of Baltimore. Washington may be short of a first down. Joe Washington in the first half, the leading ball carrier for the Colts. 11 carries, 37 yards. Hardeman had 19 yards. Harris had 27 yards to lead the Steelers. Tight end set up. Third down, a yard to go for the Colts from their own 41. And they stop him. A fumble. A fumble. Pittsburgh may have it. Mel Blount's on it, I think. Number 47, he did. Mel Blount recovered, and it'll be... Well, they haven't really signaled Pittsburgh's ball yet. It's offside against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's offside. So they wipe out the recovered fumble.
Go back out there.
Reverse back. He has a couple of 3 yards. He's to his 48, 49-yard line. Taken standing up there by Donnie, the torpedo shell, and L.C. Greenwood. Hollywood Bags at left end.
Okay, we mentioned the offensive line. Ken Mendenhall, Bob Pratt, both of them trying Joe Greene. Pretty hard to move back. Okay, we mentioned the offensive line. Ken Mendenhall, Bob Pratt, both of them trying Joe Greene. Pretty hard to move back. Play gets stopped up for a gain of 2.
Second down, 8. Franco Harris trying to keep Luce. Or warm. Bill Troup will put it up. The pass was way short of Roger Carr, who was open on the sideline. Troup, John, was having trouble getting his feet set.
I think that, and that's a comment
To the left, as the wide receivers of the Colts. Third period, early. 21-7 Pittsburgh.
Here they come.
The rush is on. Right over the middle. He was there, Roger Carr, and he just missed him. Running a post pattern. He had a step on Mel Blount. He might have gone all the way. A difficult catch for him.
I'd say, to say the least, it's a difficult catch, but if you're going to get a chance to get back in the ball game, Pittsburgh gave them a great opportunity. They're sending everybody but 3 defensive backs. Blount was put in a tough situation. They had the proper play call. The execution was a little suspect.
David Lee in punt formation. And that one was hit off his ankle, but he gets a good bounce on it. Theo Bell came up with it, and Bell is stopped on his 24-yard line. He may reach the... Tomorrow on NBC, NFL 78 opens at 12:30 Eastern Time, followed by the Jets at Cleveland, Buffalo at New England. We have later games, 3:30 NFL 78, followed by Oakland at Miami, Houston and New Orleans, Kansas City at Denver, and Seattle at San Diego. Consult your local listings for the games in your area. It's the 26-yard line of the Steelers. Franco Harris is hit from behind. He's nabbed there by Calvin O'Neill, number 51, from Michigan. First-year player, flag on the play. There's O'Neill. Franco's hurting. It's his right arm, his right shoulder, or his right wrist as he comes off.
Well, he's had a little problem with his shoulder over the year, Kurt, and this sort of condition I don't think is going to help it any.
Rick Moser will replace it. Let's see what happens.
I don't know if you can really see how a pinched shoulder gets hit. He's standing still. He has very little leverage going for him. You can see Calvin O'Neill comes over. He kind of rolls over on his shoulder, and they just start hurting in weather like this.
Penalty was against Pittsburgh, declined by the Colts. Second down, 10. Franco Harris. Terry Bradshaw. Franco has a bad right hand, is the report on him. Bradshaw just flips it over to Blyer. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage. It was his third down and 10 to go for the Steelers on their 26-yard line. Bradshaw, out it goes. That one is incomplete. Flag is down. Theo Bell, I believe they're claiming, was tripped as he was cutting across.
They did. They gave Dwight Harrison a call. I'm not sure anybody can stand up in this sort of slop.
That's interference on the other end of the field. 21-7, Pittsburgh ahead. And with the ball is Jack Delaplane. Delaplane is down. The running games of both teams being stalled out. They can't get any explosion up front or any kind of a momentum with their footing. And the defense just sort of waits for them.
You're very limited. You know, you could run a draw play, you'd think. However, the defensive linemen aren't getting off on the ball well enough to be deceived. You think you could run a screen, but that takes a lot of lateral movement, which you don't want to use. But the only thing they can do is throw delayed type patterns, run the ball straight, and punt.
Rocky Blyer's in, and Rick Moser. Second down, 10 for Pittsburgh. Bradshaw may take off. He does. He's at the 40. And he skids down right alongside the first down marker. Sanders Shiver drove him down. It was interesting, John. I went down in the hallway underneath the stadium, and Bert Jones and Terry Bradshaw, they're both good friends. They're both in Louisiana. And as they left, Bert reached out his hand and shook hands with Terry, and he said, "Good luck in the playoffs." He said, "And don't get hurt today, Bert."
Well, I'm not sure he needed to say that part, because every time you go out to play, there's a chance that may happen. Keep it out of your mind. Terry Bradshaw does take some chances. I don't think he concerns himself much with the score. He picks up a big first down. If I don't know how he knew where the yard markers were, but he did.
First down for the Steelers. They're ahead 21-7. If they win this game, they've already clinched their division. Franco Harris there with a bad hand. They would automatically clinch the home field site if they played in the championship game on January 7th, which will be carried on NBC television. A deep drop again by Terry. He shoots it out. It's no good. The pass was intended for Jim Smith, who was wide open. Number 8, Donnie, Blyer, Harris are the running back. Bradshaw, this is their first team backfield in the snow, even though they're ahead, 21-7. And they had a mess up on that handoff. The Colts are up with the ball and racing in there, may get a touchdown out of it. In for the score. Derrel Luce picked it up, number 58 from Baylor, and he scores on a recovered fumble.
All right, Kurt, there's about 4 minutes left in the first half when we discussed how does Baltimore get back in the game. They get in good field position. Troup throws a touchdown to Carr. They come back in the second half. They can't move it. All of a sudden, I thought it was Simonini who... No, it was not. It was Stan White who got a hold of Bradshaw before he could hand the ball off, forced the fumble. Derrel Luce comes in, picks it up, runs it in for a touchdown. And this game now is back in the hat. And a day that looked easy isn't going to be too easy.
Suddenly very interesting.
You bet. The handoff was never clean. The play was made by Stan White, using his head, taking a shot at getting Terry at work.
Crowd suddenly quiet here at Pittsburgh. Linhart will try for the point. The Colts are right back in this game. And the kick is no good. He blew it. It's an American that game. Ben Cowan, Jerry Hart, Ekman, Theodis Brown, and James Orr. And we're looking forward to being there. The kick is out of bounds. Flag goes down. They'll have to come back and kick it over again. We're going to have a problem with that Fiesta. Boots are falling here. This one is coming down to Anderson. Larry Anderson finds a slight crack. Runs it upfield. Hey, look at this. He's out and away. He's at the 50. He's to the 40. 30. Still going and out of bounds. Sander Shiver drove him out. Larry Anderson gives them a big return just when they needed it. The Steelers have the ball in excellent position now. The Colts have just scored on them. We have an injured Colt player down. Ron Baker playing on the Colt kickoff team. The Steelers tough late in the second period and early here in the third period. Harrison Blyer, the running back. First down Pittsburgh in the Baltimore 19. It's to Blyer. Blyer, couple of yards, and that's all. Maybe 3 to the 16. Ed Simonini, the middle linebacker, number 56 on the tackle. Second down, 7 for the Steelers. The only other club that has a chance to get a home field advantage for the championship game of the American Conference would be New England. They won 10 and lost 4. Pittsburgh would have to lose its last 2. New England win its last 2. And New England would get it on a tie-breaking better record against common opponents. That's Blyer again. Blyer over the 10. Or he's to the 10. It's all wiped out down there. Lloyd Mumford and Doug Nettles tackle Rocky Blyer.
Okay, offensive line, do your job. Jerry Mullins comes in, does a pretty good job on Ostowski. They pick up a few. It's third down and 3. Big drive for Pittsburgh to kind of put Baltimore to sleep.
They're just short of the 10-yard line. Third down and a short 3. Blown setback. Bradshaw will throw for it. He's rushed. It's complete. Randy Grossman. Touchdown. Touchdown, Randy Grossman.
I am not sure that Terry Bradshaw knows it's snowing. That ball is thrown, and the young lady is JoJo Bradshaw, who's sitting up here keeping warm. Terry must think he's up here with her because he has not been affected by the snow. I can't believe it, but that ball was thrown right where it had to be, and Grossman runs it in.
Second touchdown pass of the game for Bradshaw, the 25th of the season, high in the NFL. Staubach will be playing Sunday. Roger has 23. Terry has 25. They were tied for the lead among all the passers in the NFL. Girilla for the point. So the return by rookie Terry Anderson to the kickoff set up this touchdown. Here it is, and the kick is up and it's good. Here's the kickoff. Joe Washington on the 10. Washington finds a hole, comes through. I haven't seen much of him. His first preseason game was San Diego. He tore up his knee. He missed his whole rookie year. John and I didn't do many San Diego games his second or third year. But you can see even in these field conditions what a great young running back this fellow is.
If you see him once, you're going to see a lot of them.
Grossman's first touchdown pass of the season, by the way, on that last one. All right, let's see if the Colts can hang in here. They came back from 21-0 to 21-13. It's now 28-13 Pittsburgh. 8:55 to play in the third period. Straight ahead. Hardeman goes through and has a near first down.
He has a little fumble too, Kurt, but they got a good bounce and got the ball back.
Remember on New Year's Day, a big back-to-back doubleheader there from the Rose Bowl. That magnificent scene out there, 105,000 people will watch USC, the Pack 12, is it, or 10, or 14, 10-1 against Michigan.
It's going to be a little unique, too, because out there they've got two left-handed quarterbacks that both throw the ball around very well. It was only a few years ago when they said lefties couldn't play.
And then followed by the Orange Bowl, Nebraska and Oklahoma. Flags go down. Pass is complete. The Hardeman coming out of the backfield, where he's tackled by Robin Cole and Jack Lambert. Well, they got that yardage back again after the false start, and they signify a first down. 28-13 Pittsburgh over the Colts. Time remaining 7:50, third period. And anything can happen, as you saw the Colts pick up a fumble and running in for a touchdown.
I don't think they're going to get that kind of break again. They're going to have to do something offensively.
Hardeman hit, second effort, came back to the line of scrimmage. Robin Cole, Gary Dunn. Dunn's interesting. This is his second year, and he's come along so fast. He was on injured reserve his rookie year, that he's now playing equal time with Steve Furness at right tackle. Dwight White and Banasek are playing equal time at right end. Greene starts, goes all the way at left tackle. Greenwood starts all the way at left end. So what they're doing is playing 6 defensive linemen. Smart girls with that blanket. Second down 8. Dowdy in motion. Joe Washington. Just a slight hole, but he wriggles through there for 4 or 5 yards. Jack Ham, Jack Lambert. Two of the linebackers of the Steelers. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is 11 Alive, WIC TV, Pittsburgh.
It is third down and 3. They're on the 37-yard line of the Steelers. Don McCauley in the game for the Colts, along with Joe Washington.
Here they come again.
Troup, they're blitzing him, and he can't turn around to come back to the ball. It's an incomplete pass, and they had a blitz on. They had everybody from the kitchen coming in on that.
As you exposed, they had a blitz on. They did not have the proper pattern called against it. Everyone was pretty well picked up, and Troup had to
across the line of scrimmage. That's a pretty good kick. He's aiming for the near coffin corner. Did he get it?
He missed by about 2 feet.
He just missed it. Excellent attempt there by Lee. You can tell Lee is limping with the groin pull as he goes off the field. We'll be back here for more action from Three Rivers Stadium and our courageous cameraman right after this message. Jets 7-7 Browns. Buffalo at New England. New England, if it wins that game, clinches the divisional championship. They beat Buffalo by only 4 points at Buffalo. First down from the 20. Theo Bell, wide receiver screen. Bell has a first down as he's run out of bounds. For late tuners in, Swann left the game with a head injury. The other wide receiver who caught a touchdown pass of 31 yards, Stallworth, left the game with an upset stomach.
Watch this throw to Theo Bell. Bradshaw, when he made the throw, it was look at this pivot. Now, to keep your feet, he doesn't have to throw off his feet because he's very strong upstairs. He puts most of the velocity with his arm. However, to spin around and get that sort of execution on a day like today, man, you're doing it, Terry.
First down, 30-yard line of the Steelers. They're ahead, 28-13. Bradshaw taking out of the pass rush. Slips and goes down, a 3-yard gain to his own 33, brought down by Tom McLeod. 2nd and 7. Very interesting game tomorrow, John. With NFL 78 beginning at 3:30 Eastern Time. Chuck Knoll, 10th year here. Powerhouse team the last 7 years. Miami and Oakland tomorrow. If Miami wins its next 2 games versus Oakland and New England, they are in a playoff spot regardless of what the other teams do. Oakland, if it loses tomorrow, would be out of the playoffs for the first time in 7 years.
But if they win, they've still got
still
a good
in there.
chance.
Yes, sir. They play Minnesota their last game at Oakland.
This is the time when a lot of people start counting others out, and I don't think we can predict who's going to be in there.
I wouldn't attempt it. 2nd down and 8. Bradshaw, play action pass. Maybe. Now he takes off. They nail him from behind. Number 71, Mike Ozdowski, the man that we've been telling you about, who has come on strong for him, and they're going to move him to a Ted Hendricks type outside linebacker next year.
Well, I can understand why they might. He's got very good speed. He's strong. Got good pursuit. He's getting a lot of chance to play today, and he's been in a lot on the play. This time, however, it was because Terry had to move to the left that it allowed Ozdowski to get out there. I'm going to shorten his name up to Ozzy or something.
Just call him Al.
Okay.
2nd sack for him in the game. I'd hate to make this prediction, but I would predict that the Colts' #1 pick in the draft is going to be one of the top 4 linebackers coming out of the college ranks this year. They really want to strengthen their linebacking spot.
Well, they have good ones, I'll tell you.
Well, they have another kid injured, Mike Woods, their #2 pick. That pass is broken, intercepted. Up with the ball is Mumford. And Mumford's back in the Pittsburgh Terror. Brilliant interception there by Lloyd Mumford. Came out. Baltimore's ball. They faked to Joe Washington. And they have a wide receiver. That's the tight end, Reese McCall. And he has a first down. Baltimore threatening now.
I'll
Take a look at the rookie tight end, John.
That's a good play, and it's a good call by Troup. He gets those linebackers piled up inside. He allows Reese to go free in the middle, gets him the ball at the proper time. Dungy does make the tackle, but they get inside the 20.
Here's a man they're counting on next year. He was their #1 pick this year. He's been hurt all year, but they count on him for some good things next season. First down, Baltimore. They're on the Pittsburgh 18. Joe Washington running a sweep. Can't get much, a couple of yards. Chased across the field by Donnie Shell.
With a flag down.
Shell, one of the hardest hitting safeties on the Pittsburgh 11-yard line. Trailing 28-13. Been a very interesting 3rd quarter. Somebody moved, and I'll tell you who it was. I think it's Don Morrison, the right tackle, 79. I think he jumped. He reared up on the play. It's a false start, an illegal procedure against Baltimore. Let's listen and see if this isn't Morrison, the man that moved. The 16-yard line. The front four, Greenwood, Greene, Burness, and White for the Steelers trying to stop the Colts. Troup out of the eye. He's hit. He fumbled. Pittsburgh has it. Troup hit from the blind side and fumbled. Washington tried to go for it. On the ball is Steve Burness. Steve Burness recovered. And the Colts lose their scoring opportunity.
That's what happens when you get blindsided. Kind of feel for Troup because he has no idea he's going to get it when he does. He goes back, depends on somebody to keep somebody else out. Robin Cole blitzes from his side. Gets on Troup and got by the halfback, Joe Washington, who later made the recovery.
Pittsburgh's ball, first down on their 36. Just staving off a Baltimore threat. Franco Harris. And he goes outside. He was about to be tackled by Dwight Harrison. And he's the man. He did the shoving out of bounds. Franco instead of the defensive player. He picked up some yardage, not much, but some. NBC Sports World returns Sunday, January 14th. January 14th on Sunday. Around the globe coverage. Major sports action. Crews have been out everywhere. International competition. Updating to Olympic hopefuls. Reporting on little scene events. In-depth investigations with Sports Journal. So join NBC Sports World on January 14th. Rocky Bleier. He is stopped by veteran Dave Rowe. And left linebacker Tom McLeod is 28-13. Pittsburgh ahead. They had a 21-0 lead at one stage. Colts came back to make it 21-13. Big kickoff return by Anderson. Touchdown pass. Bradshaw to Grossman. Put Pittsburgh back up again. And then the Colts came right back and were on the 11-yard line of the Steelers. Penalized and then fumbled. Third down 4. Franco Harris. First down for Franco.
Kurt, that's really an outstanding, blocking job. They came into a blitz situation. They had someone in every gap. And you got to just credit the offensive line. Here they go. You see Mike Webster blocking off on Rowe. Okay, Ray Penny does his thing. Actually moves Stan White back far enough to give Franco a chance to lunge for the first down.
First down. And the cutback by Franco Harris. Ran into opposition from Dave Rowe. It'll be just over the 50 into Baltimore territory and the Baltimore 49. It'll be second down 8. It's been an odd scene today. While play is on, as you're looking at the back of a very smart Chuck Noll wearing a stocking cap today. The Zamboni is on one end of the field sweeping the yard lines and hand sweepers on the other end of the field. That's Rocky Bleier. Bleier's close to a first down. Rocky's hit by Ed Simonini and Joe Ehrman, the right tackle. And they signal another first down. Dwight White. Mad Dog, they call him, and he's not too mad at that heater right now. Steve Corson is going into the Pittsburgh lineup. Coming out. Oh, he comes out. He checks out. Theo Bell and Jim Smith are the wide receivers. On the 41-yard line of Baltimore. Pittsburgh has a first down. They're ahead 28-13. Entire game has been played in a snowstorm, and it's cold. There's Rocky. Rocky skids with 2 men on him. Norm Thompson, Ed Simonini.
Kurt, it is impressive that even though it is snowing the way it is, their guards have been able to pull. Their tackles have been able to pull. It's their style to run little trap blocks with everybody in the line. They've given Bleier a few holes. He's made the most of them.
They're on the 35-yard line, and there's a gun in down here. John, since the midpoint of the second period, this has been about an even game.
Well, Kurt, I can't talk to both you and the cameras, so I will make statements, but I really think it's a factor that if these are the conditions that create an even game, we've got one. Terry Bradshaw has been the difference so far today just because he's been able to throw the ball so effectively. Nobody can do much else.
Franco Harris runs for the first down. Line of scrimmage was the Baltimore 35. They'll move the yardsticks down. Doug Nettles made the hit on him as we open the fourth quarter with a score 28-13 in favor of Pittsburgh. If they hang on to this lead, and they get through the first round of the playoffs, the first round will be a wild card round. 2 wild card teams meet to enter the Final Four. If Pittsburgh played for the championship game on January 7th, the game would be played right here. 28-yard line of Baltimore is the line of scrimmage. Rocky Bleier, they've got him. There's a great charge by Kelvin O'Neill, number 51. He's made some good hits today. We see quite a few Michigan players scattered around the National Football League, as you would consider coming out of their very quality football program. And you'll see some more quality players in the Rose Bowl when Michigan meets USC. Both schools are well represented in the National Football League. First down, Pittsburgh, 28-yard line of the Colts. Everybody starting. I can't find it. I know Copley Square was snowing. Must be beautiful right now. The old Trinity Church. Some of the great landmarks, historic landmarks of America. Boston. Flyer brings him down. Maybe the most underrated city in America. Fred Cook on the tackle. Let's take a look at a ground level view of this last play.
This is what it looks like. I know just a lot of guys out in the snow having fun. Sam Davis pulls, tries to give Flyer some help. Had he been able to do so, it might have been a little bit bigger gainer. Sam's played very well today. He's picked up some big blocks at key times for him. That time he found the ground.
All right, we have a third down and 11 for the Steelers. 29-yard line of the Colts. They have a blitz on. They're not reaching him. He unloads it deep. There is Smith. Touchdown. Jim Smith of Michigan caught it.
That's what happens when you underestimate a man's ability to split a save. They're in a deep zone. They just didn't give him quite enough room to the sideline. Jim Smith went down totally untouched. They thought they had him covered. I'll tell you, Bradshaw seems to be doing something in the snow that I haven't seen many guys do. He's putting zip on the ball. He's got good control of it. He gets Smith down there beating the zone and beats Mumford too.
This is his third touchdown pass of the afternoon. High for the season in the NFL. Look at this man wide open. They're deep. The Steelers are deep. They're playing 2 second-string wide receivers. They're doing a good job.
But even if you go down there, that zone, Mumford figured he had it covered. You have to be able to put zip on the ball.
Will we see Terry Bradshaw back in? I think so, and we'll talk about that. McCauley, 30-yard line, 35, and he goes down on the 40-yard line. Bradshaw said he wanted to play all he could today. Incidentally, you'll see the same Steeler team next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time, NFL 7-8, Pittsburgh at Denver. The Steelers have never won in Denver. They had a wild 34-34 tie out there a few years ago.
You know, this might be a good time just to let Terry get ready for Denver. I know it's important that he stays sharp. However, he's exposed that he is sharp. They're now, they're well in control, 22 points up. Not that much time to play. I don't think Houdini could get back 22 points at this time, and they just caused another fumble.
Washington fumbled the ball. White's on it. Mad Dog White, 78, recovers. And the Steelers are right back in scoring position. And these Steeler fans want blood and snow.
I'm amazed that that there as many people as are here. These Pittsburgh fans are just loving it.
Now Mike Kruzek has gone in to play quarterback. So Bradshaw evidently is not going to finish up. But they want to keep him sharp. Remember, the Steelers, after their game against Denver next Saturday, will not play again until either the 30th or the 31st of December. That's a holding penalty against the Colts decline.
And that might be a good reason why a Bradshaw would like to play a lot right now and next week, because when you get a week off, your reactions are different. I don't think anybody likes a week off. We see White recovering the fumble. However, those teams in that playoff position, the wild card groups, they'll have consistency going for them. They'll have played every week, and I think it increases their chances.
Delaplane Mosier, the running back. First string backfield's out of there now for the Steelers. That's Jack Delaplane. Mike Kruzek's played very little this year. He had to fill in for Bradshaw one year. They got on that 10-game winning streak. Remember when they got off to a terrible start? They won 10 in a row. Then they played Oakland for the championship game. And Kruzik started most of the time in that winning streak they had. That defense, I think, had 6 shutouts of that 10-game winning streak.
It's easy to keep a win streak alive.
Taylor Club isn't scoring. Second down, 9 on the 20-yard line of Baltimore. Pittsburgh ahead early in the 4th period. Cut back by Rick Moser. He's a rookie from Rhode Island, 218 pounds, and David Rowe stopped him. Denver and Pittsburgh. Next Saturday, a couple of fair defensive clubs. I'll tell you, Pittsburgh's allowed the fewest points in the National Football League, and you all know how good Denver is on defense. There'll be some head knocking out there in Mile High Stadium before the usual sellout crowd that you'll be seeing on NBC.
And the impressive thing is that, you know, Craig Morton is probably playing as well as he played at any time last year right now. Pittsburgh's doing everything well, and Denver's defense has come on to their level of last year.
Third down, 7. That's Rick Moser. He was brought down by Mike Gauzdowski and Ed Simonini. And they're yelling, go, go. 4th down, 3 yards. Remember the big bowling show, the Grand Prix of Bowling, will follow the Sperry NFL report. Time remaining in this game, 10:50. 35-13 Pittsburgh. What's the call here, Mr. Knoll? He lets his quarterback call it. Maybe.
I'm sure he does. They generally have designated short yardage plays, but this really wouldn't qualify. They've got about 3 yards to go on 4th down.
They're on the 13-yard line. 4th down and 2. Delaplane and Moser lined up behind Mike Kruzik, 3rd-year quarterback from Boston College. There's the handoff, and it's going to be close. Rick Moser carrying. 7-yard line. 10 minutes to play. 35-13 Pittsburgh. Bill Troup to pass. Troup sends it over the middle. Caught by Don Hardiman. Short yardage. He had trouble gathering the ball in and retaining possession. Robin Cole made the stop on him. Now the folks down in Miami will see the Orange Bowl, Nebraska, Oklahoma. Oh, that was a fierce game they had in Lincoln, 17-14. You'll see the Heisman Trophy winner in that game, Billy Sims, and just the junior. 4 of his last 5 games, 200 yards rushing. Remarkable. He'll be in the Orange Bowl. That pass is complete for a 1st down. Oh, was he racked up, sandwiched in between the rookie Ron Johnson and Dennis Winston.
Well, Dowdy hasn't been in much on the reception part today. Yeah, my voice does slip a few octaves on occasion. But this ball's put pretty well on the spot. Dowdy will handle it if you get him to it. He's a good pattern runner. You can't run many patterns on a day like today. Dirt Winston, Ron Johnson, let him know he had it.
And well, the Oilers will be on tomorrow on NBC, Houston, New Orleans. Here's a long one. Over the head, it's intercepted. The out of bounds.
Tony
Dungy, who has, and down is Troup, the quarterback. Dungy picks it off. Dungy has the interesting fact, one of the few players in the history of the NFL to ever throw a pass, a completion, and an interception all in the same period.
Trent, you know, and he's been remarkable. I think a quarterback has a little edge in kind of knowing what another quarterback will do and where he will throw it. This is his 5th interception of the year.
All right, we'll be back in the snow with a score. Pittsburgh 35 and Baltimore January 14th on NBC. We'll enjoy. Kruzik on a handoff to Moser. He's brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Fred Cook, number 72, the left end. We're talking about that Houston game, Houston and Orleans. There they are. All in good spirits. They're out in front, 35-13.
Looks like a weenie roast.
The Oilers are in the same position as the Miami Dolphins. If they win their final 2 games against New Orleans next week and in San Diego on the last weekend, Coach Bum Phillips' team would have captured their first playoff spot since 1969, regardless what other teams do. Franco Harris back in the game. Rick Moser's out. Second down, 14 for the Steelers. Line of scrimmage, their own 36. There's Franco. Slow going for him. Ed Simonini was there to make the stop. And we're down to 7:35 remaining in this game. 21-7 halftime. Pittsburgh went to 21-13, and then 2 late scores for the Steelers. Bradshaw has thrown 3 touchdown passes in a frozen field in the snow today. Is the outstanding performer.
Look at that man. He's a familiar sight. He's played a little tight end. Now he's become an outstanding tackle. Hurt earlier in the year. He's getting a chance to play some. Larry Brown.
Third down, 13. Hands off to Franco. And he's bulldogged down by Ed Simonini. And Ed's been all over this field. He's a good pursuer. Remember Buffalo, New England tomorrow. The Patriots can capture their first division title in 15 years by winning 1 more game, either Buffalo or at Miami.
You know, I've heard a lot of people speculate on what happens to New England.
Can't play a wild card team out of your own division. Then they'd have to switch around. New England would play the wild card. They win. Fair catch called by Joe Washington. So Baltimore has the ball, and before they put it into play, we'll take timeout. Pittsburgh 35, Baltimore 13. Third-year player. He's on the field now for the Colts, and he's trying to reach Joe Washington. It's intercepted. Up for the ball is the rookie, Ron Johnson. But he's down.
Kurt, that's got to be one of the really tough times to come into a football game. You can see Dowdy was down there alone, and there's a lot of bickering and hollering going on. I kind of wonder if when Kirkland was asked to go in, maybe he didn't say, Coach, you want me to win it or tie? It's like, here's a quarterback with 4.5 minutes left to play. He's got no chance to do anything. He's going in trying to throw under unplayable conditions. He flips it out there, and Johnson picks it off.
Oh, the rookie's done it again, man. There are 6 minutes, 19 seconds to go. Pittsburgh's ball. And about the Baltimore 37, that's Rick Moser. Moser stopped cold. Hit by Norm Thompson, the left cornerback, and the middle linebacker again, Ed Simonini. Remember the Grand Prix of bowling. We'll follow the Sperry NFL report, which follows this game. Simonini, 214 pounds. He's been all over the field.
And he's had a lot of action today.
$100,000 at stake in that Grand Prix of bowling. And Jim Simpson will be there to report all the action. Second down, 11. Kruzik for his first pass. Batted away very neatly by Doug Nettles, the right cornerback from Vanderbilt. Third down and 11 to go for the Steelers. Research and statistics today by Joe Costanza.
Good to hear for old Joe. We've been getting that note since the second quarter.
And Jamie Rooney, grandson of the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, grand old man of the NFL, Art Rooney, has been our coordinator up here with the headsets in the booth. Third down and 11. There it is to Jim Smith. Smith stopped after about a 3 or 4 yard pickup by Ed Simonini again. And it's sort of, what do you call that, a wide receiver screen?
I think that's a nice description. And, you know, a lot of people would wonder, why don't they just hold the ball and run it? However, that's how your offense can get guys hurt. They're playing a lot of fellas that haven't played a lot this year. They want to see what they can do. you better stay offensive when you have the ball if you want to keep your people healthy, and that's why I think he's putting the ball up, moving it around.
That 5-6 has been in about every play lately, Simonini. 4th down and 5. The Steelers will go for it. They're ahead 35-13. Delaplane went in motion. Rick Moser drives and has it. Rick Moser gains the first down. Ed Simonini again on the tackle.
And boy, I'll tell you, these people in the fans, in the stands, they can't get enough.
Interesting college basketball game first. They're on the Colts 24-yard line with the first down. It's Delaplane. He's going nowhere. And he's toppled by Ed Simonini and White Harrison. They lost a yard. Be 2nd down 11. College basketball. NBC will tip off its 79 coverage of the season. Last year's NCAA champion Kentucky will face Notre Dame. Notre Dame was in the Final Four last year at a young club. They'll have a great sophomore this year, Kelly Trapuka. Kyle Macy, clever backcourt man. Be there for the Wildcats. They're rebuilding. They're never bad. They're always good. They always have been. The man in the brown suit took over there, followed by Joe Hall. Delaplane. He runs it inside the 20 to the Colt 18 or 19-yard line, where Doug Nettles and Calvin O'Neill get him. Down they go in the set position. Delaplane again. He played a game in the preseason, I remember that year, John, in that rain, and they called him Jack Hydroplane. He had 100 yards in a driving rainstorm. What would you call him here today?
I've kind of run out of descriptions, pal.
Jack Snow.
I'd say effective.
Jack Snow playing. They're on the 13-yard line of the Colts. They have a first down. Bradshaw.
Just another day at the plant for Terry.
I wonder what kind of bowler Terry is, the Ted Marcia-Broda. Grand Prix of bowling coming up right after the Sperry NFL report. Marcia-Broda's finishing his 4th year as the Colt coach. This is his first losing season. His team has won 3 divisional championships in a row until this year.
He'll be
Everything
back.
caved in on them. Yes, I think they'll be back. It's going to be a very competitive division next year. New England, Miami, the Jets on the prowl. Baltimore. Jones is healthy back there in the draft to get some defensive help. They'll be back 7th straight year. Only the 2nd team to ever accomplish that feat. Dallas made it 8 straight playoffs from 65 through 72. And Pittsburgh's young in a lot of spots in their team. Jack Delaplane. Ooh, is he hit there at the 15-yard line by Dave Rowe. This is not an old Pittsburgh team. This is a fairly young ball club.
And we mentioned earlier there'll be a lot of checking the professionalism of each player out there today. David Rowe has had a go at it from point 1.
3rd down, 12 for the Steelers on the Colt 15. 35-13. It's a minute and a half to go, and the Steelers are going to wind up as the host team if they reach the championship game of the American Conference on January 7th. At least we know where we'll be. Kuzak's out. Incomplete to Rick Moser. Today's game between the followed by the Grand Prix of bowling. This is a 4th down and 12 for the Steelers. The standoff to Moser. He stops. The Colts will take over. They'll have the ball with 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining. Fred Cook made the hit on Moser. So the Steelers are going to be 13 wins and 2 losses. No matter what happens next week, they know one thing for sure. They have the home edge for the first round of the playoffs. If they get through that, they are due to play the wild card team with the best record in the American Football Conference, unless the wild card team would be Houston from their own division. If they reach the championship game again, they would have the home field advantage. but on a straight handoff. Joe Washington dancing through the ice. Dances it out with an 8 or 9 yard gain. Well, how about when you were a player? You feel your club had an advantage when they played at Kezar or
all you have
on the
to do
road?
is look at the stats, Kurt. You know, they make a line on all these games, and the home field generally gets about 4 points of it. So I'd say 4 points in a real tight game is a big edge. They fought hard to get it. They deserve it.
Steelers are winding up the 15th weekend for them with the best record of the National Football League. They were beaten by Houston and beaten by the Los Angeles Rams. There are only 2 losses. Both tough games. We're down to 18 seconds remaining now. Now they're starting off the field now. We probably had a final play. Frozen conditions.